Okay, this is a demo for PL export sublayers and PL export layers. You can find this demo on GitHub under ValisD. So it's under PL export layers, and it has both export layers and sublayers there. And this is basically a script used for Adobe Illustrator to let you export individual layers out as separate images. It's very useful for designing out backgrounds and stuff like that for mobile apps is what I use it for. So like Xcode and iOS development. So I'm going into an Illustrator file. I'm going to bring up something I've been using for development with in Xcode. This is I believe a Cocoa app. You can see I have a bunch of different icons for development, and then some buttons, and then a background layer here. I'm kind of showing this stuff. If you look at the bottom right here, there is layers, right? So I have a top layer of images, and then underneath that, each one of these actual icons or buttons or whatever is an image. So if you look at like special, orange, I have that as an icon. I can sit there and just remove the view of that icon. And this is the way you would lay it out if you want to export sublayers. So there's a top image, a top directory structure, and then underneath that is all your images. And you can see I already sat there and created the added PL export layers and PL export sublayers into my Illustrator file. The GitHub directions explain how to add that there. And what's going to happen is we're going to sit there and export that into an images directory. So I made this directory a while ago underneath Huckleberry Gen. It's where your AI file will be held. And when I sit there and run export images, I would sit there and everything's going to drop into there. So your border buffer is actually important. I'm going to sit there and show in a second why you would actually need a border buffer. But over here, for example, you have a shadow on each side. So you can see where the outline is. That's where it would actually like make or draw the image from. But if you need to show extra outside of that, you want to use a border buffer. So if I go into here and put in 5 pixels, it's going to put a border, or it's going to sit there and make this image 5 pixels longer on each side, so that shadow will also be included. And then you just kind of hit export. You can see it's exporting each one of the layers individually. And when it finishes, it says it completes the run. And now you can see, everything is in the images directory. It's named the actual sublayer's name. So whatever you name that sublayer, and it just, makes it into a PNG file, adds the PNG at the end. And you can see you have a nice directory full of icons that you would, and if you were doing this with Xcode, you could sit there and just easily copy those icons straight into your image cassettes, I think the directory is called. Yeah, so like this isn't the best example in terms of like showing a layout, but you could actually lay out an entire screen, individually make all the layers different for the different images on that screen, and then export them, and you have all the images there, and you are like appropriately designing the actual layouts for the app. And that's kind of it. Or like Huckleberry Gen, you can notice the AI files.